I love watching documentaries about teams and their managers, and I see Arteta giving these incredible speeches sometimes, and I find it really fascinating. And there was a game where I'll actually give you two examples. One, she pulled a chair out and she said, "I brought this from the Dolder," and the Dolder was our hotel. And she stands up on this chair, and we're all like, she's only small, you know what I mean? Like she's gonna fall. Like she said, and she gave this speech, and she like word to word, I can't really remember it, but it was the order that she did it in. It was so, and because I've never seen her do that before, it was so powerful, and it was so relatable, and she always draws it back to the team and like the togetherness of the team, the mentality, the culture, and what it takes to win. And then she had the other one that again for me was, this one was a bit more special. I think she walks in before the game. She stands here like this and she waits. If Lucy sometimes sits on the floor and she's fixing her shin pads and doing her hair, or some players are still getting dressed, and she don't speak until people are ready. She waits, and sometimes it's a little bit uncomfortable because you're like, come on, like sit down, because she's staring at you. But she don't say a word. She waits and she waits and she waits, and she checks everyone ready. Okay, and then she speaks. And this time she so we're all sat there as we do, waiting for her to come in with the staff, and she goes, "Everyone up on your feet, stand up." I was thinking, this is different. Like, where's she gonna go with this? And she's like, interlink everyone, like come closer, come closer, come closer. And she just alludes to the fact that like we're in this together. Like this is what we've worked for. This is what we've done for the players who have been out injured, the players who work so hard to be back. And it was nice because it was so rare for her to do it. And I laughed because she then started to do it a little bit more often, and each one looked a little bit different. So then I was like, oh, what's coming next here? Like, what's she gonna pull out here? But she brings a bit of humour to it as well. But she has a purpose to everything that she does, and that's what I find so incredible about her.
Brilliant. And was there something about a wash kit? A slogan on a wash kit? Wash bag, sorry.
A wash bag.
Tell us about that.
It's bitches get things done. Along them lines, bitches gets things done. And she held up this wash bag and she opened it, and she's standing there and she gets out an item and she's like, "We're going to use this for this reason," and then she says, "And we're going to be bitches." Like, but and I, me saying this, people are probably sitting there thinking, what goes on in England's dressing room? Like, that sounds like absolute carnage. Like, your manager standing there saying you're going to be bitches. But like I said, she has a purpose to everything that she does, and everything she pull out of the wash bag related to something that we talked about in the build up to the game. And we were all laughing our head off, but she didn't break once into laughter at all. She was dead serious, and we all kind of walked out of that meeting and was like, again, as much as it was a laugh and a joke and that, there was a purpose, there was a method to the madness. The reason why she did that was for a reason, and somewhere along the line you'll understand. And I think it was the last the semi-final. We walked in the chair, and that wash bag was just sat on you have a middle bit in the chamber where you have your bitches get shit done or something like that along them lines. I can't even remember, and we all laughed and we thought, oh, here we go again. She's getting the bag out, but it wasn't that this time. She was like, just letting you know, that's still there.
Let's go back to 8:31 on the 27th of July, right? We're in the final of the 2025 European Championships. There's tens of thousands of people in the stadium. There's millions of us watching at home. And you're just about to take what Gary Lineker once described as the loneliest walk in football as you go from the centre circle to take the penalty. Tell us what's going on in your mind.
I was quite relaxed, actually. I think the Sweden game before that, I'd taken a penalty and I missed. And I watched it back, the penalty, not the game, the penalty itself. And everything about the penalty wasn't me. The walk, the way I left the line, the way I put the ball down, all the processes was everything I hadn't practiced, which was so unusual for me. because I'd like to think I'm quite a composed player in them moments. And it stuck with me, that walk, that organisation I had. It stuck with me a little bit. So when I watched it back, I thought, well, if I'm in that situation again, how will it look? And I practiced a couple of times in training that week, and honestly, not every penalty went perfect. I probably missed more than I scored, being really honest. But something about it, I was really confident. The process felt really good. I felt confident. I had watched the keeper, not in that tournament previously, how she dives, where she goes. Went through the process of take a breath, take your time. I know the keeper likes to stand by the side of the goal and put you off a little bit, put the ball down. And I think the previous penalty, I went across my body. I think as a left footer, you naturally do that. And in that week, I'd practiced opening up a little bit more and putting it that way, which the keepers would feed back and say, that's really difficult. We actually have no idea which way you're going to go. And I was walking up to the penalty and I thought, I'm going my way. Like, I back myself to score the way I feel comfortable to score, whether she goes the right way or not. Again, the penalty didn't go exactly where I wanted it to, but thankfully this one went in.
So how far out did you decide what you were going to do and how you were going to take it?
In the line. In the line. Once I knew what penalty I was taking, we come together as a team. You get told where you go and you get asked, are you comfortable with that? Yeah. Okay, who's next and next? And then when I knew I was second, I'd originally in the day, I've thought about all scenarios, what could happen in the game during the day when you've got so much time to think. If it goes to penalties, I'm gonna go open up and go keeper's right, my left. And in the line, I said, no, I'm going my way. I'm sticking to what I know, and if I get it right, I don't think any keeper will save it anyway.
So tell us, I'm really interested in this idea of you watching that previous video, because a lot of people would shy away from going back to something like that, of watching a failure previously. Did you do that with anyone?
No, I done it on my own. I'm quite an analytical person. I enjoy watching the game back. I do it because I like to process things. You get a feeling after a game of an emotion, whether you've won, you've lost, you've drew, whatever. And sometimes you can come away and go, oh, we played great today, and you watch the game back and it doesn't necessarily reflect what you thought, and vice versa. So I tend to do that quite a lot anyway, but I didn't actually watch the game back. I watched just my penalty, just to see if the feelings I had after the penalty was what it felt like, and it married up completely. The process I usually go through, or what I prepared to do, was totally way off what I planned to do.
So let's go back to the successful penalty then. You've taken it, you've scored.
Yeah.
What happens when you go back to the line after that?
Find your spot in your line. Who you want to be next to, who's nervous, who's a talker in the line, who says nothing. Everyone's completely different within the line. Some people have no idea what's going on next. What happens if we win or miss? What happens if we score? Sometimes I'm one of them. Some people say nothing. Some people celebrate when we score. Some people don't. Just find your place. Tend to go at the end or back where you was, depending on who's going next. And then hope your keeper pulls out a save.
So what are you like in the line?
Usually really relaxed. Not relaxed as in I'm not fazed by it, but I just think until it's time to actually celebrate the win, I'm just going to celebrate here. I just clench my fists, and when the final penalty goes in, then I'm off. I'm just going to celebrate.
That's when you do it.
That's when I go for it, yeah.
And how does the decision get made then that you're taking the second penalty?
Here's the truth. Your body is like an engine, and you need to keep it at its best day in, day out. I mean, think of it this way. You wouldn't fuel a racing car on cheap fuel, so why are you doing similar to your body? I take Heights Vitals. I take them every single day. They stop me feeling run down, sluggish. I used to have brain fog. Not anymore. 2 small capsules. These act as my premium grade fuel. I'm keeping with the racing metaphor. So Vitals are a blend of vitamins, nutrients, minerals, omega-3, all the Bs, basically everything you need to perform at your best. So if you're looking for something that keeps you in the driving seat with your nutrition, your brain and body health, then this is it. Taken by athletes, Olympians, and even some well-known racing drivers. This stuff works. So if you're looking to fuel right this year, go to heights.com/Jake or enter the code HP20 at checkout for 20% off your first order and start your journey today.
So before the tournament, you get sent a form. Do you want to take a penalty during the tournament? Yeah, no. If you do, what order or which penalty do you prefer? And you can say one, like you can 2, 3, 4, 5, or you can say them all.
So when you were filling in your form, what were your answers?
I mean, most definitely I'll take one. I actually don't think I put number 2. I think I put 3, 4 and 5. No particular reason, to be honest. I think just because I've probably never taken a second penalty before, naturally I just put 3, 4 and 5. And I suppose a pressure penalty in more case often is later down the line. And I think because I do back myself to score a penalty, you kind of think, well, I'll take that pressure on.
Yep.
Maybe I'm more of a senior player. I've taken a lot of penalties. I've been at these tournaments before, so I didn't maybe think like that, but I suppose somewhere deep down, I thought that's probably the right thing to do.
Right. And does Serena come and speak to you? Does she give you any words?
About the penalties?
Yeah.
Before we went to take them in the huddle, yeah, she speaks. She says, go through your processes, stay calm, and put the penalty, back yourself to go the way you want to go. But she's super calm. Like she has emotion to it, but she's so diligent with her words and so motivational. She knows that we're prepared anyway, so she doesn't really have to say a lot.
And what I often wonder when I'm watching the game is, like, when does your mind start turning towards the penalties? Against
Sweden, I think maybe a bit sooner. I probably had an idea it was going to penalties, the way the game was going, the flow of the game, the tempo. I mean, we were putting quite a lot of pressure on Sweden late on. Slightly different against Spain because you're concentrating that much. Spain is so good on the ball, and I think they put quite a lot of pressure on us the last 5-10 minutes of the game, and I was so focused on my job, and I don't think I looked up at the clock once, which sometimes you would take a little look up. How long? Okay, 2 minutes. Next year, left year, 2 minutes. Stay in it. Like if you're under pressure a little bit, or vice versa, if it's the other way, come on, we can get another goal here. So a Spain game, the only time I thought about it was when the whistle went. Sweden game, slightly before.
And do you think that does affect how you're playing in the moment of the game?
I don't necessarily think so. If I can only relate it back to that tournament, not necessarily, because I don't think we ever played to get to penalties. Even in the Spain game, I don't think, even though we were under quite a lot of pressure, I don't think at any point, players could disagree with me here, but you go play for penalties. Although in that situation, the best case scenario probably was to go to penalties because of the pressure we were under. But against Sweden, our initiative was against them, and we were on the front foot. I could feel if that game would have gone on just a little bit longer, we probably could have got another goal. But we like the drama.
And the drama then culminated in that second victory. Would you describe what it was like when Chloe scored that winning goal?
Wow, it's a feeling I wish I could describe, because it's incredible. I think the first emotion is really like, have we really just done that again? Of course, you run, you celebrate with your team, and then I almost sat back a minute at a moment and was like, I looked up to the left where the family always was. I actually remember walking, saying to Jack, really? Have we really, really just done that? Like, it doesn't sink in. I don't know if it has still, but it takes a while to process, but it's just pure elation and overwhelming slightly, to be honest.
And when you get back into the dressing room, is there a final team talk? Are there any words that Serena offers?
Do you know, I had doping. I was called for doping, so I'm not allowed back in the changing room. Always the way. I get doping, so I have to go and do doping first before. But from what I know, I don't think she did. I think we celebrated a lot. We went in seeing our families. Usually you have to go back in, wait for the crowd to go, and then you go back out and see your families. But everything goes out the window, doesn't it, in a final where you've just won. Your security's saying don't do that, and you do it anyway because you just want to be with the people you care about the most,
Yeah.
and share that joy with them, because they're so important to that process and that end goal that you're trying to achieve, and be with your teammates, because what you've gone through together in the last 7 weeks, I mean, enjoy that moment.
Can we talk a little bit more about Serena? Because I think she's an intriguing character in her own right. What do you think would surprise people most about her?
Serena being just a really good human being, which is what she is, and she cares really about you as a human as well as a footballer. She is the ultimate winner. I've never met someone who'll go to the length she'll go through to win.
Go on, give us an example.
Oh, she would do anything. I said to her before the tournament, are you gonna, this was when we had a small break. I said, are you gonna have a break? You're gonna go away and switch off a little bit? She almost looked at me like I'd insulted her a little bit. She was like, go away. I said, yeah, like, you're gonna switch off a little bit, your squad now, like. She was like, absolutely not. She said, like, my work starts now, like, and I know what she'll have had the team together, the staff, and of an evening when you walk back to your room, they have a little office on the left in the corridor, and I see them all in there, Serena, the staff, the work they put in for us to be successful is absolutely incredible. I obviously have mentioned it, that she's a super caring person, and she's actually really funny. She comes out with some great stuff, and every time I speak to her, she asks me to repeat myself 2-3 times because she can't understand me, and she is just an incredible character, incredible manager. In management style is what gets the best out of the team, and I think every single player. I've never been really in a team that every single player is also playing for their manager as well, because you've got to leave a lot of players on the bench who are unhappy and are disappointed. But the respect from the group for Serena from everyone is something I don't think I've ever really experienced before.
Was there any kind of different messaging from Serena about that England previously have only ever won one tournament?
No, it's not ever something that she'd say. She's very much, what are we going to do now? Like, she's very much in the present moment. So she does never, like, she'll never say, Germany have won 4, 5, 6. She's like, what are England going to do now? And how are we going to win back to back? And then I can only imagine after a couple of weeks, Serena's going, okay, how do England win it back to back to back? The type of personality that she is. And
Right.
that's the character that she is. She very much lives in the moment. And I'm probably pretty sure she's already going, when do we sit down and plan what happens for the World Cup and what that looks like, and the preparation and the camp, and where is it going to be? And yeah, that's how she works. She's very much, what do we do now? Rather than what's happened before.
I'm interested as an outsider looking in. Serena made that comment that this was a new England for this tournament.
Yeah.
How did you interpret that?
I knew England was players. I think, first of all, that we had quite a lot of change within the group. I knew England as in the target's now on our back, and this is something we've probably never experienced before. This new England as such is gonna mentally do what it takes to win, physically, tactically, do everything possible that we can to be successful. When I think using the word new is kind of as if we've just got rid of the old and come in with the new. That's probably not the case of the meaning of the New England. I think it was more in 2022, we had a great tournament and we rode our luck at times, which you have to do in tournaments. And now this England this England team looks is new, because we've never experienced what we're about to experience. As in, there's a target on our back. We're European champions. Everyone's hunting England down.
So that mentality of being the hunted rather than the hunter.
Yeah.
What did that do in terms of for your preparation or the mentality of the squad?
Again, it's interesting because we had some players who weren't part of 22. To them, it was very new. New's the common word. Well, very fresh. So they didn't really go in with that feeling, which was probably a good thing, because it makes everyone else almost be a bit more relaxed as well. I think the players who were in at the 2022 Euros, I think were experienced enough, and I played at such a high level for a long time that it wasn't a sense of fear or okay, like how do we deal with this pressure? Because playing for England is pressure anyway.
Yeah.
And from 2022 till now, we've played with nothing but pressure, because we've asked for it, for one. We've now put it on ourselves by being successful. And now what are we going to do with being under pressure? Because the road from 22 to now hasn't been smooth or perfect, or we haven't played particularly fantastic all the time. But we know mentally that we can go to a place to find a way to win.